Hey everyone, welcome back to another Haolonggood review. Today we're taking a look at their massive 135 scale Alamosaurus. And I do mean massive. This figure is enormous. Just look at the size of the box that this thing came in. I got it in the mail today, and it was just this giant box sitting at my door, and I could not wait to get this thing open. It's about time someone is diverting effort to make true 135 scale sauropod figures, something us collectors been wanting for years, and Haolonggood has been answering the call, and this Alamosaurus is truly an impressive piece. Now, to get my figure from Atlanta Time Shop, this figure retails for around $90, which isn't too bad considering the size of it. The only downside is the cost of shipping this thing because it's so big. I went for the cheaper route, which is around $30 for overseas shipping. They just, stuck on one of those big cargo freighters, so it took about a month and a half to come here. If you want it, to come by air, it's closer to the same price of the figure, around $90. So the shipping is gonna scare some people away, but getting this thing in hand, it is 100% worth the price plus the extra shipping. It's just truly an impressive piece, and I'll leave the link to Atlanta Time Shop down below in the description. And one more thing I want to add, if you pre-ordered this figure, you got an included display base for free. Since we're way past the pre-order period, if you want to get that display base, it's going to be a separate purchase. I think it's around like $20-something for some online stores I saw on AliExpress. So that's something else to keep in mind. So let's go over the package really quick, which is quite rare for Haolonggood figures on this channel, because I usually order them without the box to save some money on shipping. Didn't really have any choice on this massive figure, but from the box, Alamosaurus. 135 scale, we have a nice blue silhouette of the skeleton, because there's two versions of this figure, the blue and purple, and spinning the box around. Let me just make sure this is all lined up on the camera, because this box is so big, I have it so far back. We have a purple silhouette, and then on the top of the box right here we have all the releases of Haolonggood's figures. Yes, my camera lights were really far back. Let's just get that back in order so you can see all the releases they've done over the last year and a half, which is quite impressive. There's a huge variety of figures, and they have more goodies in store for us this year. You saw the teaser that they posted on their Facebook page the other day. We have a lot of cool stuff coming in. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this figure open and take a closer look. And here's the Alamosaurus out of the packaging, and oh my goodness, this thing is absolutely breathtaking. I have my camera all the way back. You can obviously see my studio lights to the side over here, because this thing is so tall. It's really hard to get this thing in the frame. This is truly a breathtaking piece, true collection centerpiece material. I knew this thing was going to be big, but I was not prepared for how heavy this thing is. This thing is almost 4.5 pounds of plastic, or just over 2,000 grams. Just absolutely massive hunk of plastic. I went with the blue version. The other version is the purple one, and they did do a gray one, and I think that was a limited run during the pre-order stage, which was mostly done in just a monotone dark gray coloration. The base is absolutely gorgeous. Reminds me of the old Reborn bases with resin used for the water effects, and we'll get into the base a little bit later on in the review, but this thing is just really impressive. Alamosaurus is a really cool dinosaur, one of the last sauropods to walk the earth. Some of its bones have been found just below the KT boundary line, and it was one of the only sauropods for North America, after a 30 million year absence. So yeah, really impressive piece. I just love sauropods figures, and this is probably one of the biggest mass-produced 135 scales on the market right now, and it's just truly beautiful piece. And as for measurements for this massive beast, if you measure along the curve of that tail, it comes to just shy of 29 inches or 73.6 centimeters, exactly 14 inches tall to the top of the head, or 36 centimeters. So there's been a few size estimates for Alamosaurus. Some have been really high, around 92 to 98 feet long, or 28 to 30 meters. The current estimate is 85.3 feet long, or 26 meters, which means this figure fits perfectly in the 135 scale range. All right, now let's take a look at some of the finer details on this Titan. I'm gonna have to do this holding the camera because it's so big. It's just gonna be, it's really heavy for me to manipulate in front of the camera with both hands. So let's first take a look at the head. There's no known skull material from Alamosaurus, so its reconstruction is based on other known Titanosaur material. Head is nicely done. We do have the nostrils at the front of the snout. We have some nice pinks for the top of the head and along the top of the neck. Eye is painted white with a black pupil. You can even see like that keratin beak on the edge of the mouth right here. I think that was like first discovered on Camarasaurus. That is very, very cool. You can see the ear canal right here, and then going down to the massive neck, it just gets thicker and thicker and girthier. That's what she said. As you get down to the base, you can see all this lovely fine scale detail all of the figure, and I just absolutely love the blue coloration. It's not too vibrant and bright like, you know, for instance, the Beast of the Mesozoic Torosaurus. I just think it's a very nice hue of blue, and you have some creams and blacks mixing in there. And let me just turn the figure a little bit to the front so we can take a look at the underside of the neck with that nice pink hue going all the way down, all that lovely nice in scale detail, and you get some nice folds and wrinkles at the base of the neck. And then turn the body around. Let's take a look at the back. You can see all these osteoderms and armor plating all peppered throughout. It gets more and more spiky as you get to about the hip region and around the base of the tail. All those osteoderms have a nice dry brushing of white on there to give it that nice bony look. And then going down to the flanks of this figure, just real nice paint details on here. Haolonggood, you know, I don't know how they produce figures of this high quality for the low prices that they do, but they have put a lot of companies on notice with all the offerings they've been cranking out. Absolutely love this company. And then going down to the front legs, you can see there are no toes or thumb claws on here, which is pretty standard for Titanosaurs. Let's see if we can get a little bit more light on that and zoom in on the front foot. And then going back up, I really do not like doing reviews like this holding the camera, but you know, this figure dictates that. And then going down to the hind legs, you get some more of that nice blue and cream coloration. So the detail on this figure is absolutely astounding. And the three toe claws on the hind legs are done in a light gray coloration. And then going down to the tail, we get some more of those osteoderms and that nice blue. And as we get to the tip of the tail is curved. If this was always stretched out, the box would be even bigger. I'm sure shipping would be even worse than this thing. But you have some nice red coloration for the tip of the tail. I think that is a really, really cool touch. And I'm going to try to do this one-handed because we have to do the dinosaur butthole check. And we do have I'm going to just have to lay this thing down. We do have a, you know, not super defined cloaca slit. I expected so much greatness from a figure this big. But you know what? At least it has the cloaca slit. And here's a view of the underside and some more nice fine scale details. So yeah, this thing is just absolutely super, super impressive. I absolutely love this thing. And I'm glad Haolonggood is just cranking out these big 135 sauropods, because let's face it, a lot of companies are just and won't do it. In Haolonggood, this is the first of their big ones. They have a Memenchisaurus that's coming out soon. They just teased a Camarasaurus and an Amargasaurus, and they said they have a lot more planned for 2024. So start seeing everybody, because they are going to be punishing our wallets with all these awesome releases. And now let's take a look at the included base. Like I said earlier, if you pre-order this, this was included for free. Like I said, we're way past the pre-order stage, so if you want to get this base, I think it's around like 20-something bucks from sellers on AliExpress. And I absolutely love this base. It just reminds me of old school Reborn, you know, back in the day when they actually used to do bases, and this base just turned absolutely fantastic. We got ferns right here at the edge. The rock detail is really, really well done. It's this nice dried mud look all over the base, and you have all this nice clear resin for this water effect that looks absolutely great. You have some moss and algae growing in the water right here. Just all the details on this base are just absolutely fantastic, and you can see there are footprints sculpted in for, you know, to place the figure on the base, and just the detail is just absolutely top notch. I hope Haolonggood makes more bases for their figures. I believe there's one coming with the Mementosaurus. Looks like it was already teased. And then right here, as I just dropped the little pterosaur, he popped off. You do get this unpainted pterosaur figure. And there's a little knob in here to plug it into one of the branches. And let me just stop the camera for a second. It'd be much easier to show off that dead tree that is on this base. And then at the end of these two branches is a little hole. Let's get the camera to focus in on that as my finger blocks the camera. You can plug in the pterosaur. I hate doing this stuff one-handed. Into any of the branches. I'm gonna have to paint this thing. So that is a neat little touch on here. And one cool thing about the base, it's this tree is actually held in by a really powerful magnet. Just listen to it just snap into place. Pretty cool. You know, I wish Haolonggood would use you know, this engineering method, maybe with the sauropods, like make the tails and the necks, you know, connect with a magnet. I think that would really reduce box size and save on a lot of shipping costs if they started doing it like that. I think that's a great workaround to do these really large 135 scale figures. So yeah, I just really love the magnet look on here, and plus the figure looks absolutely fantastic on the base when you place it in on those footprints. And now moving on with comparison, first up we have Collecte's 140 scale human to really put into perspective what a massive animal Alamosaurus was. And next up here is with a few assorted Haolonggood figures. We have their Daspletosaurus, Dilophosaurus Dascentruus, and Pachyrhinosaurus. Just to really hammer home how big this figure is. You know, Haolonggood has been absolutely fantastic with their herbivores. Their, you know, carnivores, theropods, they've been okay. They've gotten, you know, marginally better with each release, but, you know, their strong point is their herbivores. You know, Pinesso theropods are much better than Haolonggood's, and I think Haolonggood's herbivores are, you know, pretty much on par with what Pinesso can put out. So I'm glad to see, you know, Haolonggood doing a huge variety of species. Pinesso's finally getting around to, you know, actually getting back to varieties of, you know 15 theropod releases in a row. But yeah, they definitely have a lot of room to improve on their theropods, but they are knocking out of the park on their herbivores, especially their sauropods. And next up is the rest of Haolonggood's sauropods. Their amazing Apatosaurus, Impellosaurus, and their early Dicraeosaurus. And like I said, they are just, you know, giving a lot of collectors their wishes by making 135 scale sauropods. I am absolutely loving their figures. They're so reasonably priced for the size and the quality. And, you know, like I said a couple times, you know, they have a Mementosaurus and a Camarasaurus. I'm really excited for the Camarasaurus. Really need a 135 scale one for my Morrison formation display. But yeah, they are just absolutely killing. They actually even teased more sauropods a few months ago. I'm sure we're getting like Dreadnoughtus, which that's going to be even bigger than Alamosaurus. So yeah, we got some big boys in the pipeline from Haolonggood, and I couldn't be happier. And we can't forget Reborn, you know, the only other company that, you know, had the balls enough to give us a large 135 scale-ish sauropod. Here it is with their Diplodocus. And remember what I mentioned earlier about, you know, the use of magnets for to keep the neck and tail separate during shipping. You can attach them when you get them in hand. Reborn actually did that with the Diplodocus. You know, you can pop the neck and tail off, and, you know, the package is actually quite small. So I really hope that's something Haolonggood looks into, because, you know, I love this figure. You know, I did go with the cheapest shipping route, but it was still around like 30 something bucks. You know, when they start getting to some bigger stuff like Dreadnoughtus, yeah, the ship is going to be outrageous on these things. So I really hope that they look into some kind of, you know, safe space, space-saving measure with these figures. And lastly, here is a few species of dinosaurs Alamosaurus lived alongside. We have Haolonggood's Quetzalcoatlus, Pianesso's Torosaurus, and their Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, Alamosaurus lived alongside the newly described Tyrannosaurus species, Tyrannosaurus micransis. I wonder who's going to be the first company to actually give us that new Tyrannosaurus species. Probably Collective, but it'd be really cool if Pianesso can crank one out this year, you know, since now they've, you know, decided to give their theropods lips. That'll look really great with this Alamosaurus. I don't want a Haolonggood to do it because I'm just really not a huge fan of their theropods. I like them, but they have a long way to go. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool to get Tyrannosaurus micransis sometime in the near future. But yeah, just Alamosaurus is a true titan at the end of the age of dinosaurs. So, final thoughts on Haolonggood's Alamosaurus. This thing is a work of art. I am so impressed with it. You know, for $90, let's eliminate the shipping costs out of our minds. This is truly like probably one of the most bargain figures out there. Like $90. This is like 4.5 pounds of heavy plastic and just the included base, especially if you pre-order it and then cost or anything. This is just such an awesome package, and it is definitely a centerpiece display for how big this thing is. Absolutely love it. I'm a huge fan of sauropods, and just finally getting sauropod figures, scientifically accurate ones in 135 scale. It's a dream come true for me, and Haolonggood just continues to do fantastic work, especially with their herbivores, and I cannot wait for the all the figures that they teased for 2024, and they said that wasn't even all of them. Get a lot of ceratopsians from them. I guess they're filling the void from Safari. Safari used to crank out a lot of ceratopsians, but they stopped over the last few years. So yeah, really excited for this company. Every time I review their pieces, I just keep talking about value, and there's no better value on the dinosaur collecting market right now than what Haolonggood offers. So yeah, this thing is absolutely amazing. So that will do it for the review. Like I said at the beginning of the review, got mine from Land Time Shop. Link is down below in the description if you want to order one of these big boys for yourself. I should have Haolonggood's Chasmosaurus coming in any day now. I ordered both of those because they're absolutely dirt cheap compared to this big boy. So once those come in, I'll be reviewing those, and then I'll be caught up. It's been kind of a slow couple months for me. I haven't got a lot of new stuff in, but I'm sure that's about to change. There's more Jurassic World stuff coming out, and some more Hammond Collection stuff. So stay tuned for all that. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.